Former COA Commissioner and now senatorial aspirant Heidi Mendoza joins us on The Big Story tonight. Welcome to the show.
Hi, good evening. Good evening, Gretchen. Good evening, Regina. Good evening, Sean.
Well, Commissioner, there's been a lot of talk about budgets, about the OVP budget, about confidential funds, about
unprogrammed
excess funds, unprogrammed appropriations. No, we have a lot of questions, but I wonder, how does it feel now to be on the sidelines, seeing everything at work? Have you seen these problems long time ago? And speaking of a long time ago, I believe back during your term with COA in 2015 was when the joint circular on intelligence funds was created.
Issued, yeah.
So tell us all about, first, your thoughts on what's been happening in the public arena, and the second one on the joint circular.
Okay, what's been happening in terms of the budget? First, we are seeing for the first time that there's a huge increase in the unprogrammed funds. And it's a bit risky, you know, because unprogrammed funds, they do not have a specific release, they do not have a specific release document. Yeah. And there is a lesser form of control, unlike the regular fund. Kasi nga sa unprogrammed, hindi mo alam kung kailan mo i-release, di ba? And may isa pa rin nakakabagder dito, and that is yung niligay nila doon sa general appropriations na dati-dati kasi, pwede ka lang maglipat sa unprogrammed funds kapag meron kang tinatawag na untapped revenue. Ibig sabihin, meron kang naisip na kakaibang pwedeng pagkunan ng pera, pero hindi mo na isama dati. So you can include that. Pwede rin na proceeds of a foreign borrowing, or savings. And then, ngayon may dinagdag sila.
You're talking about the fourth provision, yung number 4.
Ang tatawag nila, yung funds, yung sinasabi nilang idle funds, di ba? So ito yung mga medyo nakakakaba. Dahil pag nakita natin, medyo malayo na yung itsura ng tinatawag nating National Expenditure Program na sinabmit ng Presidente vis-a-vis yung inapprove ng Kongreso. At nung tinitingnan ko yung individual amounts nitong mga iba't ibang ahensya, ang laki-laki rin ng increase ng budget ng Congress, di ba? So parang sa akin, so ito yung parang problema. Kasi dapat yung Presidente nagtutulak ng budget. Ikaw ang nagde-drive ng agenda, di ba? Ikaw nagsiset ng national development agenda, di ba? So dapat, control mo yung budget kahit papano. By the time pumunta sa Kongreso yan. Pag nakita mo medyo malayo na yung itsura ng budget na pinropose mo, vis-a-vis yung na-approve na, yung pinag-uusapan during the deliberation, dapat meron kang ginagawa para dyan, di ba? At lalong-lalo na kapag nakikita mo na maraming inililipat sa program, tapos lumalaki yung budget ng Kongreso. Pag tinignan niyo yung increase ng bawat offices for 2024, huge increase ang budget ng Congress, no? And second, ang mahalaga dito, hindi ito nakikita ng mga tao, ng mga ordinaryong tao. So that is exactly how I feel, di ba?
Nakikita nyo kasi lahat naiintindihan ninyo.
Ako na-alarm ako. Sabi ko, teka, first time ako nakakakita na ang laki na ng diferensya nung NEP at nung GIA, ano? And then, palaki din ang unprogrammed funds. And then, palaki rin ng palaki ang budget nung, ang tawag namin.
Yung confidential funds po, at saka intelligence funds, gano'n na ba kalaki yun o talagang nagballoon din?
Nagballoon yung Confi and Intel funds. Hindi lang yon. Ito yung tinatawag natin na yung allocation ng Confi funds kung sino-sino na yung nabigyan, di ba? Remember when we drafted the guidelines, the Joint Circular 2015-1, we're looking at, sabihin natin, judicious allocation of confidential funds. Remember, the difference is, kung intelligence, ito yung mga military practitioners. Yung confidential for civilian, right? Nakita natin, yung previous na Office of the Vice President, walang confidential funds. At ito may confidential funds. Kanina nabanggit mo, ano yung pakiramdam mo? Sorry ha.
It's okay, Commissioner. Nauubo.
That's some water.
You can have some water.
Parang nauubo po kayo
sa mga pangyayari.
Nakikita ninyo yung mga...
So, ang una kasi nating napuna dyan ay hindi natin pwedeng totally alsan ng responsibilidad ng Office of the President. Remember sila yung unang nagbigay ng budget dyan? Noong
diba,
20...
nag-transmit sila ng mga 110 million to the OVP.
Yes. And
Is
we're saying...
that constitutional? Kasi nagkaroon ng debate doon at that time. Pero parang sa dami nang nagyayari siguro na nakaligtaan
wala, hindi nakita,
na.
Diba? Pero we're saying, kung noon pa lang nasolusyonan na yon, wala tayong problema ngayon, di ba? That's why a lot of times sasabihin, bakit natin pinupukpok yung OVP? When in fact, may problema din yung nag-transfer. Kasi wala siyang particular source, di ba? It-transfer siya from special fund, from the budget of the Office of the President. And we know very well na kami nung nag-audit kami, pag ino-audit namin ang Confi and Intel, kailangan yan very specific ang source. Meaning to say, meron ka talagang amount na nakalagay doon sa GIA. Remember, pinagtalunan niya na ito ba ay zero, itong line item na ito, remember, that's it. No? So, pag tinignan natin, itong nakikita natin ngayon, offshoot yan nung nakaraang di ba? So, hindi natin pwedeng bugbugin ng husto yung OVP. Dahil pinayagan niya ng OP, siya nag-transfer ng pera. On the other hand, when it comes to utilization and accounting and reporting, hindi naman natin pwedeng idamay ang presidente, di ba? Kasi ang gumamit ay Office of the Vice President.
How satisfactory? Kasi ngayon pinag-uusapan na yung in fact, nung Friday, in-interview po namin si Representative Joel Chua, siya po yung head ng committee hearing na nagdadissect sa OVP budget. Tinanong ko sa kanya, bakit hindi nalang hantayin matapos yung COA audit bago natin pag-usapan to? Sabi niya matagal daw. Kasi di ba may notice of disallowance na. Ano po yung view niyo as a previous COA commissioner? On this process, ano ba dapat magyari? Kapag may notice of disallowance, dapat ba hantayin? Or sapat na ba sabihin, bago pa masettle ng COA at ng agency, at pwede na ba nating kilatisin?
Pag hindi sinagot, ano mangyayari?
Pwede ba itaas ko ng konti, ilagay natin sa tamang konteksto?
Sure.
Unang-una, ang magandang tingnan natin dyan ay ano ba yung nangyayari sa kasalukuyan? Ang biro ko nga ito kung tutuusin, satisfied ako doon sa nangyayaring palitan ng kuro-kuro, sa nangyayaring exchange of information. Ang tanong ko lang, bakit ang basa ng mamamayan dito at ang basa ng Office of the Vice President ay parang it's political, it's harassment, di ba? When in fact, it is an exercise of legislative power, which is the scrutiny of the budget. And we can say that this is the time when we are seeing the display of the allocation of powers between the executive and the legislative, di ba? The legislative sa kanila yung power of the purse, di ba? Pero ang nakakalungkot din doon, kitang-kita din natin yung tinatawag nating weakening of the institutions. When you have no less than the Office of the Vice President answering in that manner to questions being asked by the chair of the Appropriations Committee, hindi naman ito personal di ba? You are answering, you're making that answer as the head, the representative of the office you represent. On the other hand, kung yung chair naman ng appropriations ang kausap mo, she is representing, di ba, an office or an institution. So natin nakikita yung kawalan ng respeto. Pangatlo, at ito yung isa ko pang gustong ipunto. Kung hindi dumating yung Office of the Vice President, yung mismong Vice President, hindi rin tumating yung tao niya, kasama yan sa invitation Halimbawa, ganito, pag nag-invite ako sa inyo, kunyari sasabihin ko, kunyari ang President ay kunyari ang Vice President si Gretchen, kayong dalawa yung member niya, or ikaw yung, kunyari ikaw yung treasurer, etc. Well, I think, pag send na sabina sa inyo, hindi siya dumating, at least magdadating yung tao mo, di ba?
Yes, correct.
So this is the first time na nakikita natin, nasaan ang respeto sa institutions.
Commissioner, you have to admit, though, the timing there's also questions around the timing, because the previous year, Congress passed, Congress passed their budget, no questions asked.
In 22
under
minutes.
20 minutes. At that point, nag-balloon na yung confidential funds. But no questions asked, not even where will you use it. They pass it, right? And then suddenly this year, it flipped completely. So
that's exactly my point. Kaya nga sabi ko, dapat sana, ito yung gusto nating exchanges. Ito yung gusto nating scrutiny ng budget, di ba? Pinag-uusapan natin, saan mo ginamit? Paano mo ginamit? And then you ask for the COA audit report, no? This time, akala ng mga tao namumulitika, akala ng mga napopoliticize. Bakit? This is the first time na ginagawa niya. Kasi lagi nilang tinatawag is courtesy, di ba? Parang it's an existing practices. Practices,
better late than never.
Now, talking of the COA process naman, di ba? Remember, this is Confi and Intel funds, which is different from the process of a regular fund. Ang lungkot ko lang, ang biro nga ng mga audience, bakit daw mas alam pa ng legislator yung isasagot dapat ng auditor?
Okay, wait.
Ito ba yung reason?
Wait. Put a pin on that, because we have to go for a very short break. We will circle back to that conversation. Just a very quick break. We'll come back with former COA Commissioner Heidi Mendoza. Welcome back. You're also watching Big Story here on One News. Still with us, former COA Commissioner and now senatorial aspirant Heidi Mendoza.
Okay. Commissioner Mendoza, we were talking during the break, no, na parang, paano nga ba talaga i-audit itong confidential intelligence funds? Kasi by their very nature, they're confidential and used for intelligence. So, paano ba mag-liquidate once and for all? Ano ba yung rules?
Okay, under the Joint Circular 2015-1, it is as simple as yung tawag nga natin na certification audit. Ano? Of course, merong envelope dyan. Envelope yung nakasealed, pero nakalagay doon yung work and financial plan, kung saan mo gagastusin yun, nakaplano, anong proyekto, ganyan. And then, meron ka certification. It's usually the certification by the Special Disbursing Officer and the head of the agency, yung tumanggap ng confidential funds. Now, in the event, katulad nito, na nag-issue ng notice of disallowance, the COA may require the submission of the supporting documents. Pero ito yung kailangan nating linawin, kasi nandito yung medyo gray area.
Correct.
Hindi yung Confi and Intelligence Audit Unit ang magko-conduct ng audit.
Okay.
So it's a different kind of audit. Kumbaga, nakita mo na ngayon under the guidelines, tama yung ginawa nila. Na-submit yung documents, may certification, and that's it. Pero nag-iba yung situation di ba? Ni-review mo and you are not convinced and therefore you can now ask for the submission of the documents. True naman, sasabihin mo, hindi naman namin pwedeng gawin yan kasi nga, ikaw yung Confi and Intel Audit Unit. However, the Commission on Audit is the supreme audit institution. And as such, nothing prevents the Commission on Audit, specifically the chairperson, to order the creation of a fraud audit committee that will, or a fraud audit team that will look into the audit of this.
We don't have that currently.
Wala pang iniuutos. Hindi pwedeng silang magano kasi nga liquidation yun. At saka yun yung unit nila, yun lang ang functions nila. No? Now, there should be an in-depth audit para makita talaga. Pag sinabi natin na in-depth audit, ano yung titingnan natin? May mga red flags tayo mga auditor, meron tayo sinasabi, kahit mga investigador, tinatawag natin, follow the money.
Right.
Ang biro ko nga nun, kung 11 days mo nagastos yan, may surveillance ka na, meron ka pang rental of safe offices. Meron ka pang reward to asset and other informant, di ba? Sabi ko, you can hardly do that in 11 days. Diba? I mean, common sense.
Even
Yes, yes,
even
In
if
11
nationwide,
days, you cannot do that.
even if it's nationwide,
It's
which
not
is the
reasonable.
argument of
no,
the
you cannot.
OVP.
You cannot.
What if, like parang kumbaga naka-bulk lang yung, let's say, nag-assign siya ng payment day or payment week or payment na 2 weeks, kaya ganun lang yung time
Sabay-sabay.
frame na na-disburse? Di ba may mga kumpanya kasing ganun? O yung check pick up, ganito lang pwede, itong oras lang, itong araw lang.
May process yung surveillance Are you telling me na, eto yun for you to be able to give a significant amount of reward, that means more or less, the price of information is commensurate. The value of information is commensurate, right? Are we saying that in 11 days we can get that information in that short amount of time? Di ba? Nagtatago ka pa ng informant mo dyan, mag-house ka pa dun sa di ba? Pangalawa, ang nakakapag-ano kasi nito, dapat kasi meron niyang plan At i-compare mo yung plan. Because what you're saying is right. Paano kung sabay-sabay mo siyang biniraan, etc. Di ba? So you have to compare. Asan yung security plan mo? Di ba? Yun. Asan yung project? Asan yung ano yung information? Di ba? Which is exactly the point of the auditor naman. Sabi nila, hindi na-establish yung kahalagahan ng information kung bakit mo binayaran ng reward yung
Is
asset.
there a national agency that has oversight over the security plan that you're talking about? Because I kind of read the start of the joint circular, and there is the GCG, or the Governance
For
Commission for
corporation.
GOCCs, which is the Central Advisory, Monitoring, and Oversight Body. Meron bang ganun? Yung ba yun?
Hindi yan. That is for the corporation.
Iba ito.
For GOCC.
For
Wala.
local governments, it's DILG, di ba?
So
For
they're
local
supposed
government.
to audit where all of these Confi and intelligence funds
Hindi
goes
sila
to?
mag-audit. No, hindi sila mag-audit.
Or at least
Ang
have
alalin lang nila yung
oversight.
security.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yung plan.
yes, meron. Kasi pag liquidation, they should be given a copy. Ang ano lang dito ay dapat may tumitingin ng overall security plan, 'di ba? Kunyari Office of the Vice President yan, which is a bit weird, 'di ba? Kasi kung Office of the Vice President, anong klaseng security ang paggagamitan mo, 'di ba? Yun nga yung tinatanong namin, 'di ba? And the other thing is, do they have the competence to use this fund? 'Di ba ang gagamitin din nila military? Tama ako, or the PNP,
police.
o diba, or the intelligence. Bakit hindi na lang
CIDG.
sa kanila ibaba?
Commissioner, can you explain to us how significant how significant is it that she was issued a notice of disallowance? Because I looked into it, and former Vice President Lenny Robredo at one point also got a notice of disallowance.
I think that
Medyo common naman.
It's fairly common, right?
What you get is an audit observation memorandum, I think. Yeah.
AOM.
Now,
That comes before
Pero may-
disallowance.
pero
kunyari
may
nag-audit ka, may financial implication. So mag-i-issue ka ng notice of disallowance. Before that, kung hindi ka pa sigurado, for example, nag-travel si Gretchen, wala siyang certificate of appearance. Sabi ko, ay, di-disallow ko to. Ibig sabihin, hindi ko pwedeng i-take up sa libro. Kasi may duda pa ako kung nag-travel talaga si Gretchen. So that will be a notice of suspension. Kapag sinabi kong, Gretchen, mag-submit ka sa akin ng in X number of days, 30 days, at kailangan makita ko kung nag-travel ka talaga. Then si Gretchen nagbigay sa akin ng resibo ng biyahe, may certification na certificate of appearance.
Yeah.
Ililift ko ngayon yung notice of
Yeah.
disallowance.
But I mean to say, give us a sense of how careful auditors are. Is it just one person deciding on the AOM?
No.
Is it a whole team?
It's the whole team.
And
It's
how
the whole
long
team.
do they take? Do they deliberate it extensively? Do they take one look at it and said, oh, kulang, AOM na yan?
No. There is a process na ginagawa. Diba? As I've said, if you feel like may monetary implications ito, and then hindi mo na isubmit within the required time, remember bago mag-mature ang notice of suspension to a disallowance, you have 60 days. So, ang ibig sabihin nito, hindi ito pwedeng sabihin na, walang kwenta yan, hindi lang kami nakapag-submit ng resibo. Wrong. Kasi tapos na yun di ba? Binigyan ka na ng pagkakataong mag-issue ng resibo or whatever kung anong gusto mong i-issue. And the very fact that it matured into a disallowance, ibig sabihin, hindi mo na i-submit yung dokumento,
Late
di
ka
ba?
pa ng 60 days.
Oo.
Paano po
submit.
maaaring mangyari?
Okay.
Kapag hindi po na ipaliwanag, saan napunta?
Okay, yung notice of disallowance, may kasama yung tinatawag natin na order na i-refund. Pero gaya ng tinatawag nating mayroon tayong due process, di ba? We have a due process. And part of the due process is, pwede kang mag-appeal. Yung appeal mo, sasabihin mo kunyari na mukhang hindi tama ang appreciation ng audit team. Pero hindi mo na pwedeng sabihin, ay, hindi ako nag-submit. Ito yung dokumento. Tapos na yun right? So, ikaw na lang, questionin mo, hindi tama ang appreciation ng auditor. Pwede mong ilabas dyan yung the auditor has no capacity or competence to audit intelligence matters. O, tinuturuan ko na ng isasagot.
We appreciate it.
So, yan, And it will go up doon sa tinatawag nating commission proper.
Pwede bang kasuhan?
Pwede na. In fact, nung panahon namin, meron kaming working relationship with the Office of the Ombudsman. Basta nakapag-issue na ng ND, hindi na hinihintay yung issuance ng notice of finality. Nagkakaso na kaagad ang Office of the Ombudsman.